New Zealand, the best places to visit in this land of pristine bays, verdant valleys, and ancient Maori culture. Dormant volcanoes watch over turquoise lakes as the first dawn rises over a remote landscape where nature has followed its own evolutionary path, undisturbed for millennia. Breaking away from the Gondwana supercontinent some 85 million years ago, New Zealand drifted into splendid isolation in the vastness of the Pacific. Australia, its closest neighbor, lies over 1,200 miles away, making these islands one of the last great habitable lands discovered by humans. Ancient forests embrace hidden valleys in a place where the absence of native land mammals, except for bats, has allowed birds to dominate the ecosystem. The iconic flightless kiwi serves as a national symbol, while the country's vast sheep population, numbering around 6 for every person, reflects its deep connection to farming and wool production. Auckland spreads across 2 harbors on New Zealand's North Island. This city balances urban energy with natural beauty in ways few places can match. Volcanic cones dot the landscape, while sailboats fill the harbors. Nearly 2 million people call this region home, making it the country's largest metropolitan area. The Sky Tower rises 328 meters above the city streets. This concrete needle pierces the skyline, visible from almost anywhere in Auckland. Built in 1997, it serves as both telecommunications hub and observation deck. Glass elevators climb the exterior in just 40 seconds, carrying visitors to viewing platforms near the top. Waiheke Island sits 35 minutes by ferry from downtown Auckland. Rolling hills covered in vineyards meet pristine beaches along its shores. The island spans 92 square kilometers, home to about 9,000 permanent residents. Artists and winemakers have transformed this once quiet farming community into a cultural destination. From the Sky Tower's observation deck, Waiheke appears as a green jewel in the Aoraki Gulf. The contrast defines Auckland's character, a modern city tower watching over ancient island landscapes. Ferries trace white lines across the blue water between them. This connection between urban heights and island retreats shapes daily life for thousands who commute across these waters. Our journey brings us to Rotorua, a place where the earth reveals its inner workings. This North Island city sits atop one of the world's most active geothermal fields. Steam rises from sidewalk cracks, and sulfur scents the air. Here, the planet's raw power shapes daily life. Waiatapu Thermal Wonderland spreads across 18 square kilometers of volcanic terrain. The name means sacred waters in Maori, and these lands have drawn visitors for over 700 years. Mineral deposits paint the landscape in impossible colors. The champagne pool bubbles at 74 degrees Celsius, its rim lined with bright orange antimony deposits. Te preserves both natural wonders and Maori culture within its grounds. The Pohutu geyser erupts here up to 20 times daily, shooting water 30 meters skyward. This is the Southern Hemisphere's largest active geyser. These thermal zones remind us that our planet remains very much alive beneath our feet. Ancient Maori understood these forces and wove them into their stories and traditions. Today, science explains the mechanics while the spectacle still inspires wonder. Rotorua stands where culture and nature merge in clouds of steam. Our journey brings us to Taupo, a place where volcanic forces shaped one of New Zealand's most striking landscapes. This North Island town sits beside the country's largest lake, born from an ancient eruption. The waters here tell stories of power and transformation. Nature's raw energy still pulses through this region today. The lake's shores offer countless spots for quiet reflection. Small beaches dot the coastline, each with its own character. Some face east toward sunrise, others west toward volcanic peaks. Local Maori consider these waters sacred, a living connection to their ancestors. The lake continues to shape life here, just as it has for thousands of years. Huka Falls demonstrates what happens when a wide river suddenly narrows. The Waikato River squeezes through a rocky channel just 15 meters across. Every second, 220,000 liters of water thunder over the edge. The turquoise color comes from air bubbles trapped in the churning flow. Standing on the viewing platform, visitors feel the ground vibrate beneath their feet. New Zealand's volcanic heart beats strongest in Tongariro National Park. This sacred landscape spreads across the central North Island, where 3 active volcanoes shape the terrain. Ancient Maori traditions blend with raw geological forces here. The park holds dual UNESCO status, recognized for both natural wonders and cultural significance. The Tongariro Alpine Crossing cuts through this dramatic world like a pathway through time. This 19.4-kilometer trail ranks among Earth's most spectacular day hikes. Hikers climb from native forest into an alien landscape of volcanic craters and emerald lakes. The track crosses active volcanic terrain, where steam vents remind us the Earth remains very much alive. Each section reveals different faces of this volcanic realm. The trail begins in gentle tussock lands before ascending the Devil's Staircase. Beyond lies the Emerald Lakes, their brilliant green waters colored by dissolved minerals from the volcanic rock. Wellington spreads across the southern tip of New Zealand's North Island. This capital city balances government buildings with creative energy. Wind sweeps through the harbor, earning it the nickname Windy Wellington. The city's compact center makes exploring on foot a natural choice. Tekapo Museum stands as the nation's storytelling heart. Its name means "our place" in Maori. 6 floors hold treasures from across New Zealand's history. Ancient Maori artifacts share space with contemporary art. Mount Victoria Lookout rewards those who make the climb. At 196 meters above sea level, the summit opens to 360-degree views. From this height, Wellington's geography becomes clear. Hills cradle the city against the water's edge. This lookout has watched over the city since Maori first settled these shores. We are heading to Picton, a small harbor town at the head of Queen Charlotte Sound. This gateway to the Marlborough Sounds sits where ferries arrive from the North Island. The town serves as both a destination and a starting point for exploring the intricate waterways beyond. Ships have docked here since the 1850s, when whalers first recognized the value of this sheltered port. The waterfront defines daily life in Picton. Morning light reveals fishing boats returning with their catch, while pleasure craft prepare for the day ahead. The marina stretches along the shore, filled with vessels of every size. Local cafes open their doors as the town slowly awakens. The foreshore walkway follows the water's edge, offering views across the sound to distant hills. Queen Charlotte Sound extends from Picton like a vast network of flooded valleys. These waterways twist and turn for miles, creating hidden bays and secluded beaches. The Sound formed thousands of years ago when rising seas filled ancient river valleys. Today, boats navigate these same channels, following routes used by Maori travelers centuries before European arrival. The surrounding hills frame Picton in shades of green throughout the year. Native bush covers the slopes, occasionally giving way to cleared patches where homes perch above the water. Abel Tasman National Park, New Zealand's smallest yet most visited national park. Golden beaches meet turquoise waters along this protected coastline. Native forest grows right to the sand's edge. The park stretches across 87 square miles of pure coastal wilderness. The Abel Tasman Coast Track winds through this paradise for 37 miles. This great walk ranks among New Zealand's most popular trails. The path follows the shoreline between Marahau and Wainwai Bay. Hikers walk through native bush, across swing bridges, and along pristine beaches. Each section of the track reveals something new. Cleopatra's Pool offers crystal-clear swimming beneath moss-covered rocks. Bark Bay's tidal lagoon fills and empties with the rhythm of the sea. Split Apple Rock sits just offshore, its granite form split perfectly in half by nature. Seals bask on rocky outcrops, while dolphins play in the deeper waters. The pancake rocks in Punakaiki stand as the main attraction, drawing visitors from around the world. These layered limestone formations look exactly like stacks of thick pancakes piled high. The rocks formed 30 million years ago when marine creatures and sediment compressed on the ocean floor. Time and pressure created these distinctive horizontal layers that seem almost too perfect to be natural. Walking the coastal track, we witness the power of the blowholes between the rocks. During high tide, seawater rushes through vertical shafts carved by centuries of erosion. The water explodes upward in dramatic geysers, sometimes reaching 20 meters into the air. The combination of layered rock and surging ocean creates a display that changes with each wave. Our journey continues south to Wanaka, a lakeside town where mountains rise straight from the water's edge. This place sits quietly on the shores of its namesake lake, surrounded by peaks that pierce the southern Alps. Here, nature shapes daily life in ways both subtle and profound. The town itself remains small, letting the landscape take center stage. Lake Wanaka stretches before us, New Zealand's fourth largest lake, covering 75 square miles. Its waters run deep and clear, reaching down 1,000 feet in places. The lake fills an ancient glacial valley, carved when ice sheets covered this land 10,000 years ago. Today, those same waters reflect the surrounding mountains in perfect mirror images on calm mornings. Roy's Peak stands as the most recognizable summit in the region. The trail to its top climbs 5,177 feet through golden tussock grasslands. Each switchback reveals wider views until the entire lake system spreads below. From the summit, we see how glaciers sculpted this landscape, leaving behind a network of valleys and ridges that stretch to the horizon. The peak draws hikers from around the world, yet the experience remains deeply personal. Standing at the top, wind carries the scent of alpine herbs, while shadows of clouds drift across the valleys below. This viewpoint shows why Wanaka captivates those who find it. The town may be small, but the natural canvas surrounding it is vast beyond measure. Our journey brings us to Queenstown, the adventure capital of New Zealand's South Island. This alpine resort town sits on the shores of a glacial lake, surrounded by the dramatic peaks of the Remarkables mountain range. Born from the 1860s gold rush, Queenstown has transformed into a year-round destination where nature's grandeur meets human ambition. The town pulses with energy, drawing visitors from across the globe to experience its unique blend of natural beauty and outdoor pursuits. Lake Wakatipu stretches before us like a giant's mirror, its waters reflecting the surrounding mountains in perfect clarity. This S-shaped glacial lake runs for 80 kilometers through the heart of the region. Its waters reach depths of nearly 400 meters, making it New Zealand's third largest lake. The Maori believed a giant's heart still beats at the bottom, causing the lake's unusual rise and fall every few minutes. The Skyline Gondola carries us 450 meters above Queenstown for views that stretch across the entire region. The steep climb takes just minutes, but the perspective shift feels profound. From Bob's Peak summit, we see Lake Wakatipu spreading below like a map of blue silk. The Remarkables stand guard to the east, while Cecil Peak dominates the western horizon. This vantage point reveals why filmmakers choose these landscapes for their most epic scenes. Glenorchy, a small settlement at the northern tip of Lake Wakatipu. This quiet town sits where mountains meet water in New Zealand's South Island. Just 45 minutes from Queenstown, Glenorchy feels worlds away from busy tourist trails. The Dart and Reese rivers flow into the lake here, carrying glacial waters from the southern Alps. Glenorchy Wharf extends into the pristine waters of Lake Wakatipu. The wooden structure reaches out from shore, offering views across the lake to surrounding peaks. From the wharf's end, the Humboldt Mountains rise dramatically to the west. These peaks frame the lake with snow-capped summits even in summer months. The water below shifts between deep blue and emerald green as clouds pass overhead. Here we are in the southwest corner of New Zealand's South Island, where Fiordland National Park spreads across millions of acres of untouched wilderness. This is a land carved by ice and time, where mountains plunge straight into the sea. Ancient rainforests cling to steep valley walls. The park holds some of the planet's most dramatic landscapes. Milford Sound stands as the crown jewel of Fiordland. Captain Cook sailed right past this narrow entrance twice, hidden as it was by the surrounding peaks. Sheer granite cliffs rise over 4,000 feet from dark waters. Waterfalls cascade down these walls, some dropping more than 500 feet in a single plunge. After heavy rain, hundreds of temporary falls appear, turning the sound into a living gallery of falling water. The Milford Trek winds through 33 miles of pristine wilderness. Known as the finest walk in the world since the 1800s, this trail reveals Fiordland's hidden heart. Hikers pass through ancient beech forests where moss drapes every surface. The path crosses swing bridges over crystal-clear streams. Alpine meadows open up between the trees, offering views of snow-capped peaks. We venture now into Aoraki Mount Cook National Park, where New Zealand's highest peaks pierce the sky. This alpine sanctuary spreads across the southern Alps, home to glaciers, turquoise lakes, and mountain trails. Here, nature operates on a grand scale, with Aoraki, Mount Cook itself, rising 12,218 feet above sea level. The park covers 270 square miles of raw mountain wilderness. The Hooker Valley Track offers one of the finest alpine walks in the country. This 6.2-mile trail leads through valleys carved by ancient ice, crossing swing bridges that span glacial streams. The path stays relatively flat, making it accessible while delivering spectacular views. Hikers pass beneath towering rock faces and alongside the milky waters of the Hooker River. The track ends at Hooker Lake, where icebergs float in water colored by glacial flour. Lake Punakaiki stretches below the mountains like a sheet of turquoise glass. Fed by glacial melt from the southern Alps, the lake gets its striking blue color from rock particles suspended in the water. The lake runs 10 miles long and reaches depths of 230 feet. From its shores, Aoraki Mount Cook dominates the northern horizon. On calm days, the mountain's reflection doubles its presence in the still waters. The Tasman Glacier flows down the eastern slopes as New Zealand's longest glacier. Stretching 14 miles through the mountains, this river of ice has shaped the landscape for thousands of years. Today, the glacier ends in Tasman Lake, where blue icebergs break away from the terminal face. The glacier continues its slow retreat, leaving behind a growing lake that tells the story of our changing climate. Lake Tekapo stretches across the heart of New Zealand's South Island like a massive turquoise gem. This glacial lake sits 700 meters above sea level, surrounded by the southern Alps. The distinctive milky blue color comes from rock flour, tiny particles ground by glaciers and suspended in the water. Clear skies and minimal light pollution have made this region one of the world's premier stargazing destinations. The Church of the Good Shepherd stands alone on the lake's edge, built from local stone in 1935. This tiny chapel measures just 96 square meters, yet draws visitors from across the globe. Its altar window frames a perfect view of the lake and mountains beyond. The church remains active, hosting services and weddings while serving as a memorial to the region's pioneering families. When spring arrives, between November and January, lupins transform the shoreline into ribbons of purple, pink, and blue. These tall wildflowers grow in dense clusters along the water's edge and nearby riverbeds. Though introduced from North America, lupins have become part of Lake Tekapo's seasonal identity. Photographers wait all year for these blooms, which create stunning foregrounds against the turquoise water. The Mackenzie Basin's dry climate and isolation preserve Lake Tekapo's raw beauty throughout the seasons. Winter brings snow to the surrounding peaks, while the lake rarely freezes. Summer temperatures stay mild, perfect for hiking the shoreline trails. This alpine sanctuary continues to reveal new perspectives with each visit, from dawn's first light to the star-filled nights that follow. Our journey takes us to Kaikoura, where the Pacific Ocean meets the seaward Kaikoura Range. The name Kaikoura comes from the Maori words meaning meal of crayfish. The Kaikoura Peninsula Walkway traces the edge of this dramatic meeting point between land and sea. This clifftop path stretches for several miles along the peninsula's rugged coastline. Limestone formations have been carved by centuries of waves into platforms and pools. The track winds past these natural sculptures, offering views across the Pacific toward the horizon. Marine life thrives in the waters below the walkway. Fur seals rest on rocky outcrops, their dark forms visible against the pale stone. During certain seasons, dolphins pass close to shore, their movements tracked by those walking the clifftops. The peninsula creates ocean currents that bring nutrients up from the deep, supporting this abundance of sea creatures. Walking this path means witnessing one of New Zealand's richest marine environments from above. Our journey continues south to Dunedin, a city carved into the hills of New Zealand's South Island. Scottish settlers shaped this place in the 1800s, leaving their mark on every street corner. The city rises from the harbor in layers, with Victorian buildings climbing the steep slopes. This is where Southern heritage meets the wild Pacific coast. Dunedin Railway Station stands as the city's most photographed building. Completed in 1906, this structure showcases Flemish Renaissance architecture rarely seen in the Southern Hemisphere. The exterior walls combine dark basalt with lighter Oamaru stone, creating patterns that catch the changing light. St. Clair Beach stretches along Dunedin's southern edge, where city meets ocean. This long strip of sand faces the open Pacific, with waves that roll in from Antarctica. The esplanade runs parallel to the beach, lined with Norfolk pines that lean inland from decades of ocean wind. The Coromandel Peninsula stretches along New Zealand's North Island like a rugged finger pointing into the Pacific. This land of ancient volcanic origins holds forests, beaches, and hidden coves within its boundaries. Here, the Aoraki Gulf meets the open ocean, creating a coastline that shifts between gentle bays and dramatic cliffs. The peninsula draws those seeking natural wonders away from city lights. Cathedral Cove waits at the end of a coastal track near Hahe. The walk takes about 40 minutes through native bush before revealing this natural masterpiece. A massive archway carved by centuries of waves frames white sand and turquoise water. The limestone arch rises like a Gothic cathedral entrance, giving this beach its sacred name. Hotwater Beach offers something found in few places on Earth. At low tide, thermal springs bubble up through the sand, creating natural hot pools. Visitors bring shovels to dig their own spa pools in the sand. The hot water mixes with cool ocean waves, creating a unique bathing experience controlled by the tides. Our journey brings us to Cape Reinga, the northernmost accessible point of New Zealand's North Island. This sacred headland rises where the Tasman Sea meets the Pacific Ocean in a constant dance of currents. The Cape Reinga Lighthouse stands as a solitary guardian on this remote promontory. Built in 1941, the White Tower rises 10 meters above the clifftop, casting its beam 26 nautical miles into the darkness. The lighthouse replaced an earlier beacon from 1919, continuing a vital service for vessels navigating these turbulent waters. Its automated light still guides ships through one of New Zealand's most challenging maritime passages. From the lighthouse viewing platform, the meeting of two mighty oceans unfolds before us. This raw display of nature's power reminds us why lighthouses remain essential even in our modern age. From glacial valleys to sunlight dancing across ancient forests, New Zealand stirs something deeper than just wanderlust. You don't simply cross its landscapes, you disappear into them, caught somewhere between stillness and wonder, between time lost and time remembered. Whether tracing the windswept trails of the Milford Track, drifting over the turquoise hush of Lake Tekapo, or stepping into the glowing hush of Waitomo's hidden caverns, each place becomes part of you. Click on the video that's appearing now to continue your journey of the wonders of the world.